physically, in other ways. But it's really what you focus upon or what you're looking at that really holds you down and keeps you from achieving. And it's when we choose to trust in God in spite of everything else, we're able to get up. We're able to strive. I used this little clip because it was short. You can go to the internet or to the Christian bookstore and order the whole thing of where he gives his whole testimony. He was born like that. He really questioned God for a long time. Why was he born like that? And how he was angry with God and all the other things that go on when people just focus on certain infirmities or frailties rather than the bigger picture, and how God let him see that he had a purpose for him in spite of the way he was born. And he made a commitment to the Lord, and the Lord has used him mightily. If you'll open now back up to the text, because the point has to be when you're trusting God, if you're really going to trust God, then you're going to have to ask your question to yourself, what am I looking at? Are you looking at the things you're facing, at the things that may be creating difficulty in your life, or are you really trusting God and looking at all the things that God has made available for your life? First of all, and we're going to put something on the screen here for you. There are three things in this passage that a person could choose to look at. And it's obvious in the beginning of it, when Paul starts out, his focus is on the messenger. His focus is on the messenger of Satan. He simply says here in verse number 7, lest I should be exalted above measure by the abundance of the revelations, a thorn in the flesh was given to me. A thorn in the flesh was given to me. A thorn in the flesh was given to me. Now, he's not talking about some physical thorn, right? It's a metaphor. When you read the Old Testament, God told Israel, if you don't drive out the enemy from the land, if you don't drive them out, if you don't do what I told you to do, he says, if you let them remain, they're going to end being pricks in your side, thorns in your eye, pricks in your eyes and thorns in your sides. All right, or pricks in your eyes, meaning they're going to create trouble for how you see, and they're going to create trouble in your physical world. So they'll create trouble in your mental world and your physical world if you don't drive them out. So Paul here makes a statement. Now, you can read a lot of stuff about what his thorn in the flesh was. He tells you what the thorn in the flesh was. He said it was a messenger of Satan. Now, that doesn't mean a messenger of Satan was stuck in his flesh as he walked around. But he does tell you that the thorn in his flesh was a messenger of Satan. That was the thorn in his flesh, was a messenger of Satan. And he tells you exactly what? The thorn in the flesh was given to me, a messenger of Satan, to buffet me, lest I be exalted above measure. So he tells us what the thorn in the flesh was. A messenger of Satan to buffet him, harass him, create things very uncomfortable for him. And he says, lest I be exalted above measure. Well, I don't care what kind of revelation you may have received from the Lord, where you've been. And notice he started out that he know a man. And now the way he writes it, I know a man, means that he still know the man. The man was him. And he just goes back to 14 years prior to the writing of that letter. He goes back 14 years prior to the writing of that letter, and he tells what happened with this man, how this man experienced a phenomenal thing. This man actually was caught up into the third heaven. This man left the earth realm in his spirit and was caught up into the third heaven, all right? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Our English translation of God in Genesis says, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. In the Hebrew, Shemayim, which simply means that God created the heavens, the atmospheric heaven, the planetary heaven, and, the atmosphere is where we're at right here. We're breathing and all of that. The planetary heaven is where we have the galaxy, the stars, the moons, and all of that stuff going on. And then the third heaven is the heaven where God abodes. That is the throne of God. That's where God abodes. All right, so Paul is saying that he literally left the atmospheric realm. He literally went by the planetary realm, and he actually went into the very earth realm, or the very throne realm in presence of God himself. And he says, in the dimension I went into, I heard things. I was revelation. I received stuff that there's some stuff is not even really, you can't even express in a human way. He says, to keep from me being exalted above measure, so you all won't be looking at me and think I'm really above and you think beyond and don't listen. He said, there was given to me a messenger of Satan. There was given to me. There was given to me. There was given to me. It was given. A messenger of Satan to buffet me. The word buffet means to actually strike with the knuckles under the eye, to crush. Now, let me ask you something. Is there anything in life that you just wish would leave you alone? It doesn't create any sin or anything like that, but you just would like for it to just get on out. Just leave you alone. You don't have to put up with it at all. You just don't have to put up with it at all. I mean, you don't have to get the phone call anymore. I'm not saying this, but I do know this. I don't care what you think you got cooking in your stove, or how well you think you are. As my wife would say, all of that in a bag of chips. If you look at your life, you will always discover that there's enough going on in the human realm that you just can't push away, that shows you how you have to really trust God. And basically that's what he's going to be doing. All right, the word here is what I just told you, to strike with the fist so that the hard knuckles makes a sting or a crush. And you can see the word used in Matthew 26:67 when Jesus is before the soldiers, and they basically start beating him. The word beat there in your text, if you return to Matthew 26:67, you would discover that the very word that talking about buffet here is where they were striking him in the face. All right? So Paul is saying that this messenger of Satan that was given to me was buffeted me. I mean, he did things, he caused things to happen that were very painful. Very painful. Okay? All right. So, he's focusing on the messenger of Satan. And verse number 8, he says, concerning this thing, what thing is he talking about? What thing did we just get through saying? Come on, it's no quick. What did the man just say was given to him? All right, so for this thing, what thing did he just talk about? All right, for this thing, he said, for this thing, this messenger of Satan that was